Hi, my name is Elsa, and today is day 3 of my journaling reading a book. Healing is the new high. Well, I'm continuously reading it. Inner healing is the act of letting go of past conditioning, creating a new, empowering belief system for ourselves, and embracing the unknowns of the future with the confidence that we are strong and capable, no matter what comes our way. And this book is intended to give you the tools you need to do the same. If you're working through therapy at the moment or would like to soon, this book can be a supportive addition to that progress. Inner healing is a means for creating a better world, and so we must invest in it not only for our own sake but also for that of others. As the popular saying goes, hurt people hurt people. And in contrast, I firmly believe that healed people help people, which is why it's my honor to help you heal. Introduction. We had an argument. We can't remember what it were about, but it was a big one. I had a funny feeling that night, unsettled, as if something big was going to happen. It could have been due to the argument or discomfort rooted in paranoia. I knew she was heading out to a bar, and she always got plenty of attention. On top of that, she hadn't texted me. I'd always get a text good night, even if we'd fallen out, but that night I got nothing. My mind was crowded, too many conflicting thoughts were blaring out, and I just couldn't sleep. Maybe I've taken things too far. Maybe some things happened to her. Or I think I need to text her. No, wait. She was wrong, not me. What if she'd moved on already and she was with someone else? No, she won't be. That's deceitful, and I know her. I can trust her because she loves me with all her heart. After all, she's the one who persuaded me when I wasn't interested. Finally, I plucked up the courage to text her goodnight. When her response in the early hours of the morning, she poured her heart out to me. She saying she loved me and wanted to patch things up. Apparently, her life wouldn't be the same without me. I bought the idea, I really did. But then a friend sent me a text, and in an instant, even before I opened it, I felt anxious. Anxious. I felt anxious. I just had a bad feeling, and I was right. The text said that my girlfriend had gone home with his cousin. I felt angry and disappointed, but also doubtful. This particular friend didn't like the idea of us, and he had his reasons. Maybe he was trying to put me off her, but then why would he lie? After all, the guy he was accusing of being with my girlfriend was his cousin. Also, my friend had existed in my world long before my girlfriend had. So I should have been able to trust him before I trusted her. And to be honest, I owed it to him and I believed him because I'd broken the bro code by getting together with my girlfriend despite knowing he'd had history with her. Our love story was flawed to begin with, and it should never have existed. Eventually, I confronted her, and she was appalled. She denied it and told me my friend was jealous and trying to get between us. She made me feel bad for believing him and not trusting her. She seemed open and vulnerable and told me she was deeply hurt. I felt guilty. She was that convincing. And he was my problem. Every time we argued, a new story would emerge and the narrative would be the same. She was unfaithful to me on multiple occasions, and each time she'd buy her way back into my life and emotionally manipulate me into believing her faults were my flaws. This pattern was becoming embarrassing for me. I had a reputation as the boy who got the girl, not perhaps because I was good looking, but because I had a charming nature, was popular with my friends, and had a good heart. Now I was becoming known as the boy with the girlfriend every other boy was hooking up with. My closest friends had warned me, even strangers had. They told me to use her for what she was good for: physical intimacy. But I was in way too deep, and I didn't believe in being in a relationship if there was no future in it. I didn't want to hurt her, and I saw light within her that no one else could see. People labeled me withered and scrum, and eventually I responded to that by pretending to use my girlfriend for sexual encounters. But this was a lie. I felt as if I needed her. It was painful with her, but my life would seem more painful without her. The pain wasn't just emotionally either. I was getting into fights with other men over her. Men who teased me about what they were doing with her and how I wasn't good enough for her because her attention was swaying toward them. I'd always heard that it's guys who are the players, the scumbags, the ones who have all in control. But I'd lost mine. Here I was, a hopeless romantic, foolishly believing in an illusion I'd saved from my own imagination about this other person and the connection I thought I could have with her. As time went on and new evidence came to light, I finally hit boiling point. I knew I couldn't be with her and that I had to remove myself from this relationship and not buy into her words and emotional manipulation. I decided to put on a front. I told her that if we were to move forward with our relationship, she'd have to admit to everything she's done. Deep down, I knew that nothing she could say would be enough because I'd already decided to move on, regardless of how uncomfortable it would be. But she didn't know this. And her response really did put this into perspective. I wasn't even shocked that as she told me about all the times she'd betrayed me. I'd always known it was true, but I just refused to accept it. I almost needed the words to come out of her mouth. What was increasingly painful at that point was the blame she put on me. In no way was I perfect, but she made me out to be a failure and created doubt in me. Even though I'd been faithful and loving throughout our relationship, the only times I'd really given her a reason to look elsewhere was when we'd argue over my accusations of her cheating. Afterward, it was so hard not to text her at night like I always had. We had several breakups before this final one, and I'd always reopened our communication to get closer. However, what I was really doing was keeping my routine with her alive. I was reentering my comfort zone by speaking to her, even if it was just to argue. So I had to exercise huge willpower to stop myself from responding to her text messages, which said things like, "If you truly cared about me, you'd reply. If you loved me at all, you'd want to work it down." This out. I miss you and will do anything to be with you. Nevertheless, this really was the final straw. The hot age was too great this time, and I was willing to undergo the pain of change in order to break my attachment to her. I had to resist the urge. I had to start a new chapter. Although I didn't know it at the time, in the months following the breakup, when I flew a dramatic grief reaction and experienced a number of intense thoughts, physical sensations, and emotions. So yeah, that's all for today.